She left me for a gym. Bro sneering, I'm too hot for your disgusting dad bod. Real women need real men, not flabby losers. She added, maybe if you actually cared about your appearance, you'd deserve someone like me. Now I'm ripped, divorced, and she wants another shot. All right, so I'm 34, and my wife, well, ex-wife now, Kayla is 31. We were married for 7 years. No kids, both working full-time, nothing dramatic. I work in IT, pretty chill job. Desk all day, back and neck usually sore, but it pays well, and I'm good at it. Now, before we get into it, I'll just say, I'm not a bodybuilder. I've always been more into tech and projects than working out. And yeah, over time I got the standard desk job belly. I wasn't falling apart or anything, just not gym fit. I'd call it a dad bod, though I'm not even a dad. Kayla's always been thin, naturally. Like, she's one of those people who can eat whatever and stay a size 2. But she's also always had this thing where she needed people to validate her constantly. You probably wouldn't notice it at first glance. She seems confident, always dressed sharp, nice smile, but underneath it, lotta insecurity. She craved being seen, admired, complimented, all that. About 2 years ago, she got real into fitness. Like meal prep Sundays, yoga in the morning, expensive gym memberships, the whole package. She joined this place called Elevate Studio, which is like the IT gym in our city. Fancy equipment, $9 smoothies, and full of influencer types who film their sets like it's an Oscar submission. That's where she linked up with her Fit Girl squad. Tiffany, Ashley, Brooke. You get the idea. They all looked like they stepped off a sponsored Instagram post. Designer leggings, eyelash extensions at the gym, matching water bottles. Every one of them married to some shredded guy with too many selfies on his profile. The whole group felt like it was built on appearance and fake laughs. Super toxic energy. They never liked me. I was the guy who wasn't in their club. Didn't wear performance hoodies everywhere, didn't drink green sludge, didn't treat squatting like a religion. I'm pretty sure they told Kayla I should be included in their lifestyle. But not because they cared about my health. Nah, it was about keeping the image tight. Kayla started hinting that maybe I should start joining her for classes or come to the gym with them on Sundays. No thanks. Fast forward to Tiffany's wedding. Beach ceremony, full thing. Kayla didn't even seem like she wanted me there. She was like, it's just mostly my crowd. You probably won't know anyone. Yeah, I got the vibe. But apparently Tiffany had insisted I come, so I was like, whatever, I'll show face. The wedding itself was decent. Sunset ceremony, overpriced hors d'oeuvres, beach chairs sinking into the sand. Everyone dressed like they were headed to a cover shoot. I played it cool, nodded, smiled, made small talk with people who clearly didn't care who I was. Then came the shift. Once the reception wrapped up, they had this whole beach after-party thing planned. People started changing into swimsuits. Guys were tossing their shirts and heading toward the water. Girls laughing, bonfire going, music playing through some Bluetooth speaker. Looked fun. I was about to join in when Kayla leaned in and said, real quiet, maybe don't take your shirt off. Just hang back for this part, okay? I didn't say anything. Just looked at her for a second. She gave me this look like she was trying to protect me from embarrassment or something. Like she thought I'd thank her for that advice. But I wasn't insecure about how I looked. I wasn't walking around thinking I was peak fitness. But I also didn't see myself as some slob. I didn't hide behind towels. I just didn't spend my time thinking about abs the way she and her friends did. So I walked right over to where people were swimming, pulled my shirt off, and dove in. Water felt great. I swam a bit, chatted with a couple people, just enjoyed the moment. Yeah, I noticed Ashley nudge someone and whisper while glancing my way. Pretty sure they made some comment about my stomach or whatever. Didn't bother me. Their whole world revolved around being watched and rated like some reality show. I was just there for the ocean. When I came back out, Kayla was sitting on a towel with that stiff smile she puts on when she's annoyed, but trying to look polite. I just grabbed my shirt and walked past her, sat down, dried off. No fight, no snark. I just wasn't going to make a scene at someone else's wedding. Later in the car, she didn't say much. Just kept looking at her phone. I could feel the judgment radiating off her, though. Probably messaging the group chat like, I told him not to swim and he did it anyway. And honestly, I didn't care. That moment in the water was probably the most relaxed I'd felt in weeks. She started being colder after that. More distance, less talking, more time at the gym. I didn't know it yet, but that beach wedding, that was the start of the real split between us. I just hadn't seen how far it would go. After that beach wedding, stuff with Kayla started to feel off. Nothing dramatic, just colder. She stopped asking me about my day, stopped doing those small things couples usually do for each other. Like, She'd make herself breakfast, but not me, or she'd come home and walk straight past me with her gym bag still on. It wasn't a fight, it was silence. Her gym time doubled too. She went from 5 days a week to basically living there. And not just going for workouts. She started hanging with people from the gym outside of gym hours. Post-yoga smoothies, meal preps with the girls, cardio in groups. It felt more like a club than a workout space. Then came Ethan James. I remember the first time she said his name. We were eating dinner. Well, I was eating, she was scrolling. And she just casually goes, "Ethan James says training fasted is actually better for fat loss." I blinked. Wait, Ethan James? That guy went to college with me. She looked up like I just told her aliens were real. Wait, what? You know Ethan? Sorta, I said. We were in the same major for like a year. Then he dropped out, disappeared, and popped up later doing push-ups in slow motion on Instagram. He was always in the gym, even back then. She was stunned for a second, then got weirdly excited. I didn't know that. Small world. Yeah, real small. Turns out, Ethan was kind of a local fitness celeb now. Not a trainer technically, but a workout influencer or whatever you'd call it. Big on TikTok. Always posting routines with motivational quotes like, "Pain is the path to power," while flexing shirtless in his garage. And, surprise, he and Kayla had become gym buddies. I didn't think much of it. Seriously, I'm not a jealous guy. I've got women friends, I get it. She said he was helping her tweak her routines and giving her tips. Said he was married too. I figured whatever. If the guy was really married, then what's the problem? He started showing up more and more in her conversations though. She'd say things like, "Ethan told me about this protein blend," or "Ethan showed me how to fix my squat depth," like she was quoting a podcast or something. And then I started seeing her in his TikToks, like front and center, spotting him on lifts, laughing in the background, doing those "look at us grinding" videos. I scrolled through a few. One had her doing side lunges while he flexed and filmed himself. I checked the comments. Someone wrote, "Is this his girlfriend? They're so cute together." I showed her the comment later and just said, "Kinda weird people think you're dating the guy." She looked at me like I was the problem. It's social media. People always assume stuff. You know that. She brushed it off and kept scrolling. Didn't even blink. Even then, I didn't assume she was cheating. Honestly, I felt something was off, yeah, but I didn't have proof. I told myself it was just a gym friendship. Intense, maybe, but nothing more. I mean, we'd been together 7 years. You don't throw accusations at someone you married unless you know for sure. But something still felt off. The way she talked about him, like he was more than a friend. The way she laughed harder at his jokes. How she kept using his full name like he was some kind of brand. Ethan James said this. Ethan James does that. Not Ethan. Ethan James. Weird flex, but okay. And then came the meltdown. One Saturday, I asked if she wanted to go see a movie or get dinner. Just anything together. She was standing in the kitchen with her protein shake, wearing one of those matching workout sets. She sighed and said, "You don't get it. You never have. You don't care about my lifestyle. You don't even try to connect with me anymore." I was like, "What? I'm literally trying to spend time with you right now." She rolled her eyes. "No, you're trying to drag me away from something that actually fulfills me. And I'll never forget what came next. I think I need space. I need to figure myself out. Alone." I blinked. "So what? You're leaving." She crossed her arms. "I'm going to stay with Amanda for a bit, just until I get some clarity." Then she went upstairs, packed a small bag like she was about to go on a weekend retreat, and walked out the door without even looking back. I just stood in the living room, phone in hand, watching the door close. That was it? 7 years, and she's walking out like it's nothing? She didn't even say, "I love you." Not even a "we'll talk later." Just, "I need to figure myself out." Cool. I didn't chase her. I didn't call or text. I just sat down, turned off the TV and thought, all right, guess she's got to find herself now, whatever that means. The silence in the house after she left wasn't painful. It was more like static. A weird pause button got pressed on our marriage. But deep down, I knew it wasn't temporary. People don't walk out on a marriage to figure themselves out unless they already found someone else. I didn't have proof, but I had a feeling. And that feeling was growing by the hour. A full week passed. No texts, no calls, no surprise pop-ins, just nothing. It was like Kayla disappeared. The house was silent, almost too clean. And yeah, weirdly peaceful. I didn't feel like I was being abandoned, more like I finally had breathing room. No passive-aggressive tension, no awkward silences while she doom-scrolled on her phone. Just quiet. I wasn't chasing her either. I didn't text, I didn't check in. Partly because I didn't want to give her the satisfaction, but also because I genuinely didn't know what I'd even say. Hey, how's your self-discovery going? Didn't seem productive, but she was still popping up online. I started seeing her more and more in Ethan's TikToks. Same gym, same filter, same rise and grind captions. He'd be filming his workouts and she'd be there, laughing, spotting him, or doing squats in the background while the camera conveniently caught her from just the right angle. It looked like she was part of his brand now. The smile, the hair up in a perfect messy bun, the fake laughing at nothing kind of vibe. You know the one. Now, let me be honest. I didn't think they were sleeping together. Not right away. Yeah, I had a weird feeling, but I wasn't trying to jump to that conclusion. I'd been married to this woman for 7 years. We weren't exactly on fire lately, but I didn't peg her as the cheating type. Controlling? A little? Obsessed with appearances? Sure. But cheating? It just didn't click. Not immediately, anyway. Still, something felt off. You live with someone that long, and you notice the little stuff. The way she suddenly acted like Ethan was a genius for saying, carbs aren't evil. The way her face lit up when she'd get a notification from him. The fact that she'd never let me near her phone anymore. Even the way she said his name. Ethan James. Always the full name. Like she was trying to sound impressive just by association. I brushed a lot of that off at first. Figured maybe she was just excited to have a new friend. But I won't lie, I had a gut feeling. The late nights, the attitude change, the way she dipped out saying she needed space. It all painted a picture I didn't really want to look at. But I didn't have proof. No texts, no shady photos, just vibes. And I'm not the type to throw around accusations without facts. I told myself if she was actually doing something, it'd eventually come to light. Turns out I didn't have to wait long. It was a Tuesday evening. I was heating up some leftovers, scrolling on my phone, half watching a YouTube video when my phone started ringing. I looked down. Amanda. That threw me off. Amanda was one of Kayla's closer friends. But we weren't tight. We'd never texted, never called. If I saw her, it was at birthdays or mutual hangouts. So seeing her name pop up, yeah, that raised a few eyebrows. I picked up. Hello. There was a long pause. Just dead air for a second. I thought maybe the call dropped. Everything okay? I asked. She sighed. Listen, please don't get mad, all right? But I need to tell you something. I straightened up. All right. She hesitated again, then finally said it. Kayla's not been staying with me. She's been at Ethan's. They've been seeing each other. It hit like, I don't know, not a punch, but something slow burning, like a fuse got lit. I'm sorry, she continued. It's been going on for a while. I didn't want to say anything, but I can't lie for her anymore. It's been about a month, maybe more. I didn't say anything at first. Just stood there, hand gripping the phone, my other hand still hovering over a cold plate of food. She added, I swear, I thought she was just taking time to think, but then she started staying at his place and acting like it was totally normal. I feel awful. We finished the call not long after that. I thanked her for telling me, told her I appreciated her honesty, and yeah, I meant it. That took guts, especially when her loyalty should have been with Kayla. I ended the call, dropped my phone on the couch, and just stood there. I wasn't shocked, not really. The signs were there, just scattered. It's like when you see puzzle pieces on the table, and you think they don't fit. But then someone puts them together in front of you, and boom, it's a picture you recognize. I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't crying. I wasn't throwing things or shouting into the void. I just stood there and let the information settle in my brain, like letting a download finish. Then I walked into the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, sat down, and stared at the wall for a bit. It wasn't even sadness I felt. It was clarity. Like, okay, so that's what it is now. You ever get so mentally drained that you don't even have the energy to freak out? That was me. I was tired. Tired of pretending things weren't weird. Tired of acting like her behavior made sense. Tired of being the only one still trying to be a husband. I didn't even bother looking at her videos anymore after that. Didn't care what new move she was doing at the gym or what cheesy quote Ethan slapped on his post. None of it mattered. She'd made her choice. She didn't want space. She wanted a backup plan. And now I had proof. The gut feeling wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was fact. So I did what any calm, pissed-off guy would do. I opened my laptop and looked up divorce lawyers. After that call with Amanda, I didn't do what most guys probably would have done. No rage posting. No blowing up Kayla's phone. No driving over to Ethan's with some dramatic speech lined up. I just sat there, staring at the microwave clock like it owed me answers. It wasn't denial. I knew she'd been stepping out. It just didn't hit me the way you'd expect. I wasn't in tears. I wasn't crushed. I was annoyed. Not because she cheated, but because of how embarrassingly lazy she was about it. She really left me under the impression that she needed space to find herself, then went and laid up with a dude she met doing glute bridges. Like, come on, at least make the lie believable. You left to figure yourself out, not to move into Ethan's spare bedroom and be in the background of his thirst traps. So I took the L and decided I wasn't going to sit in it. Next morning, I got up early. Earlier than I had in weeks, maybe even months. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and started searching for divorce lawyers. Not family counseling, not marriage repair. Divorce. I didn't want an explanation or closure or one last talk to wrap things up in a bow. I wanted her gone. Officially. Legally. Found a guy with solid reviews, filled out the consultation request online, and by noon, I was sitting in his office. Guy looked like he's seen 1,000 of these before. Gave me the rundown, asked a few questions, then I hit him with the only thing that mattered. We've got a prenup. He smiled like that was his favorite sentence. That'll speed things up. Damn right it would. He filed the paperwork that day. Kayla was served the next morning. One of those classy envelope drops while she was pulling into the gym parking lot. Probably ruined her mood right before she was about to film another Get Ready With Me for her 200 followers. She called me later that evening. I let it go to voicemail. She texted me 2 minutes after, "So I guess Amanda told you. And yeah, it's true. Me and Ethan are going public." I just replied, "Good for you." And I meant it, because now I could finally stop pretending I was in a marriage. I was out. No more fake smiles, no more awkward silences, no more being her plus one while her friends sized me up like I was the sad project husband. About an hour after that, she called again. I picked up this time because I was curious what she'd say when I didn't give her the reaction she expected. She started with, "You're really not even going to say anything?" I said, "I did. I said good for you." Then silence. I could hear her breathing through the phone, probably processing the fact that I wasn't losing my mind, that I wasn't begging or shouting or demanding explanations. That was probably a new experience for her. She finally said, "I didn't mean for it to happen this way." That's always the line, isn't it? Nobody ever means for it to happen. It just magically unfolds while you're sweating together in a private gym and filming TikToks. 1 minute you're working on core strength, next thing you know you're moving into a man's apartment and telling your husband you're soul searching. I didn't say that though. I just said, well, it did. So we're here now. She started getting emotional. Voice cracked. I think she tried to squeeze a tear out, but it didn't really hit the mark. She asked if there was any chance we could talk. I said we were talking. Then she said, "I meant in person." I said, "Nah, I'm good." She went quiet again, then finally muttered, "Okay." That was the last real conversation we had. She signed the divorce papers 2 days later. It was clean. No drama, no court fight. The prenup handled everything. She didn't get anything beyond what she walked in with 7 years ago. No spousal support, no property split, nothing. She left with a few yoga mats and her collection of shaker bottles. I spent the next couple of weeks just existing. Not sad, not happy, just resetting. I took a few days off work, did a deep clean of the house, threw out a bunch of junk, packed up stuff she left behind, unfollowed her friends on socials, blocked Ethan, blocked her too. Not because I was angry, just because I didn't care anymore. It felt weird, in a good way, like closing a tab that had been open too long. I didn't tell many people at first. My family knew, a couple of close friends, but I wasn't putting it out there like a life update. I didn't want sympathy. I didn't want the "she didn't deserve you anyway" talks. I knew what this was. She wanted a different life, and instead of building it with me, she found a shortcut with someone who had abs and a ring light. Let her have it. But me? I wanted something better. Not a better partner, not a better body, just a better version of me. For me. I was done being the background character in my own relationship. I was done hearing about how I should do this or need to do that. I wasn't going to shape my life around someone else's approval anymore. So I did what I always do when stuff hits the fan. I made a plan. I bought a new pair of running shoes, got a gym membership, not a fancy studio, not a place with influencers or smoothies, just a basic gym with old iron plates and people who grunt a lot and don't film everything. And then I started showing up, not to prove anything to Kayla, not to make Ethan jealous, not for revenge, just because I was pissed. Not at them, but at myself, for letting things slide, for letting myself settle, for not seeing the signs sooner, for giving someone the best years of my life and not demanding the same back. I didn't care how long it would take. I was going to build something better from the ground up, one rep at a time. So I started going to the gym. Not some luxury spot with eucalyptus towels and mirrors on every wall. Just a solid, beat-up place with rusty dumbbells, clunky treadmills, and the kind of guys who wear the same shirt 4 days in a row. No ring lights, no influencers, no one filming their sets and doing side poses. Just hard floors, sweat, and work. And it worked for me. First week was rough. I was sore in muscles I forgot existed. My back felt like it had been body slammed. My knees cracked every time I walked up the stairs. But I kept showing up. Every day. Even when I didn't want to. Even when I was tired or moody or tempted to stay in bed. I started eating better too. No more frozen pizzas or drive-through dinners. I learned how to cook real food. Nothing fancy. Just chicken, rice, veggies. Repeat. Tossed all the junk out of the pantry. Bought one of those big reusable water jugs, filled it constantly, and started carrying it around like I was on a mission. And honestly, I started feeling good. Not just physically, but mentally. Waking up earlier, going to bed before midnight, getting fresh air, lifting heavy stuff and putting it down again, it all started to clear my head. Like my body was slowly deleting all the crap I'd been dragging around from the last few years. The results came quicker than I expected. I lost 22 pounds in the first month. It shocked me. I wasn't even doing anything crazy. Just eating decent, hitting the gym 5 times a week, and walking everywhere instead of driving. Nothing extreme. No miracle program. Just consistency. By the third month, I was down 51 pounds total. Even my posture changed. I wasn't hunched anymore. My shoulders sat back. My shirt started fitting different. I wasn't hiding my body behind oversized hoodies anymore. I started buying stuff that actually fit right. Jeans that weren't baggy, shirts that didn't double as parachutes. I even got a new haircut. Clean fade, trimmed beard. First time in years I looked in the mirror and thought, yeah, this guy's all right. But the weird part? Kayla kept popping up on my For You page. I'd be scrolling through TikTok and there she was, doing yoga stretches on a balcony, trying on gym outfits, giving out fitness tips with Ethan's voice narrating in the background. It was obvious she was trying to ride his influencer wave. Except, it wasn't really working. The views were weak. The comments were dry. Most of them were from random bots or the same 3 people hyping her up every post. It was like she was trying to create this whole new identity online. Gym girlfriend trademark. But it didn't look real. It looked forced. Staged. Like she was playing a role someone else cast her in. So I blocked her. And I blocked Ethan too. Not because I was bitter. Because I was done. I didn't want them in my feed. I didn't want reminders. I didn't care what new supplements they were pushing or what trendy routine they were posting. I had my own thing going. And for once, I wasn't doing it for anyone but me. I kept training. I hit PRs. Deadlifted more than my body weight. Started running without getting winded. I even started getting compliments from random people at the gym. One dude came up and said, "Bro, you've been putting in work. I've seen you in here since March. Made my whole day." At work, people noticed too. I wasn't just the IT guy anymore. I was the "hey, you look different" guy. My boss asked if I'd been training for something. I said, "Yeah, life." He laughed. I didn't. Then, one morning, I stopped at this local coffee shop I hadn't been to in a while. Walked in, ordered my usual, and waited near the pickup counter. That's when I saw Amanda. She was at a corner table on her laptop, sipping something with way too much foam on it. She looked up, then did a double take. At first, nothing. Just polite confusion. Then she tilted her head and said, "Wait, do I know you?" I laughed. Damn, I don't look that different. She squinted at me for a second, and then her eyes went wide. "James?" "Yep." Her jaw actually dropped. "Oh my God, what the hell happened to you?" I smiled. "Got my life back together." She stood up, looked me over and said, "Kayla missed out, big time. Look at you." I brushed it off. Yeah, well, she made her choices. We ended up sitting down together, talked for a while. She caught me up on all the stuff I'd been avoiding. Told me Ethan and Kayla had been posting like crazy for a while, trying to build some couple's fitness brand. Said it was cringy as hell. But then, plot twist. Amanda goes, "Did you hear what happened to them?" I shook my head. Nah. Blocked. Why? She chuckled. Kayla got caught cheating on Ethan. Someone saw her at some rooftop bar making out with a random dude. It blew up online. There was a whole internet drama around it. People dug into her old posts and started roasting her. She lost almost all her followers. Brands dropped her. Ethan went quiet for a while too. I leaned back in the chair. She cheated on the guy she cheated with. Amanda nodded. Yep, full circle. I didn't even feel surprised. It made perfect sense. Kayla didn't want a better life. She wanted attention. And when she stopped getting it, she went looking for it somewhere else. Amanda looked at me and said, "Honestly, you're glowing." I raised a brow. "Glowing?" She laughed. "You know what I mean." She was flirty. Real flirty. Not in a weird way. Just casual, playful. We talked for another half hour. Then she said she had to get back to work. As I stood up to leave, she smiled and said, "You should stop by here more often." I shrugged. "Maybe I will." And as I walked out, I realized something I hadn't felt in a long time. I was good. Not trying to prove anything. Not chasing closure. Just good. A couple weeks after running into Amanda at that coffee shop, I was in a good rhythm. Work, gym, real meals, solid sleep. Life wasn't dramatic anymore. And for once, I wasn't waiting for some apology or plot twist. I was just living. Amanda and I texted a bit. Nothing serious, just memes, music recs, little stuff. She kept it light, but she also kept dropping hints. If you're ever in the mood for coffee again, or let me know next time you need a taste tester for your meal prep. I wasn't rushing into anything, but it was nice having someone be interested in me again. Like, for real me. Not the version with abs, just me. Then something weird happened. One afternoon, I was finishing up a workout at the gym. I'd just wiped down the bench, put my headphones around my neck, and started heading toward the water fountain when I saw this dude standing near the cable machines. Kind of familiar. Athletic build, hoodie, baseball cap. He turned and smiled. "James? Dude, no way." It was Ethan, the guy who had, unknowingly or not, been shacked up with my wife while now standing 10 feet from me like we were college buddies who just bumped into each other at a gas station. I blinked. "Ethan?" He walked over like we were old pals. "Man, it's been forever. I didn't even know you trained here." I just gave a small nod. "Started a few months ago." "Dude, you look amazing. Way different than back in school. You cut all that weight?" "Yeah," I said. "Got back in shape. Life kind of forced the reset." He laughed. "I feel that." I wasn't in the mood to chit-chat. I was still cooling off from my last set and had about 5 other things on my mind, none of them being reconnect with the guy who was unknowingly part of my divorce. Then he said something that flipped the whole thing sideways. "So, man, how have things been? You married? Dating?" I stared at him. Number divorced." He gave me a look. "Dang, sorry to hear that, man. When was that?" I raised an eyebrow. "Couple months ago. You might actually know her." He looked confused. "Really? Kayla?" His smile slowly dropped. His face froze for a second. "Wait, Kayla? You're Kayla?" I nodded. "Yeah, she was my wife." There was a full 10 seconds of silence. His eyes darted to the floor, then back up. "Dude, I didn't know, I swear, man. She never said she was married. Not once." I could tell from his face he wasn't faking it. The guy looked genuinely sick, like he just realized he'd been sleeping with someone else's wife without even knowing it. "She told me she was going through a breakup, but she made it sound like it was mutual. Like you guys had already split. She told me you were roommates, dude. Said you were separated but still living together for a bit." He looked crushed. "Man, I'm so sorry. If I'd known, honestly, if I'd known, I never would have even talked to her like that. She made it sound like you were this lazy ex who never did anything." "Sounds familiar," I said, kind of smirking now. He sat on the bench next to us and just shook his head. "I thought she was done with the drama. I really did. And then she went and cheated on me too. That part I already knew, thanks to Amanda. But hearing it from him felt like a weird full circle moment." I sat down too, leaned back, and nodded. "Yeah," Amanda told me. He laughed once, dry. "Figures. Whole internet tore her apart. I lost like half my following just being associated with her. My inbox was a mess for weeks." "What happened?" I asked. "Some dude filmed her at a rooftop bar. She was full on making out with a guy while I was at home editing our stupid workout videos. That clip went viral. The comments were brutal. I just said, 'Sounds about right.' We sat there for a bit. Then he said, 'It's crazy, man. I never connected you to her. I should have asked. Should have looked deeper.' 'I said. 'It's not on you. She knew what she was doing.' He nodded. 'Still, I owe you one. If you ever want a training partner, let me know. No social media, I promise.' I actually ended up lifting with him a few days later. Strictly weights, no cameras, no bro content. Just 2 guys spotting each other, talking about life, and laughing at how insane the whole thing was. The next week he made a video. Not the usual gym inspo stuff. It was more raw. Just him talking to the camera about patterns, red flags, and learning to ask better questions. He never named Kayla, but anyone who followed him before knew exactly who he was talking about. The comments exploded. People who'd supported their fit couple content turned on her. The whole thing snowballed. Kayla's account went dead. Last I checked, on a burner, not my main, she hadn't posted in 2 weeks. And her last video? Nothing but hate comments. Poetic. So yeah, Kayla ghosted off the internet after Ethan's video. And honestly, I wasn't expecting that part. I thought she'd try to clap back or do one of those fake teary apology clips about mental health and being misunderstood. But nope, nothing. Total silence. She stopped posting. Her account's still up, but it's a graveyard now. Her last video had a caption like New Beginnings with her doing yoga on a balcony, but the comments turned it into a war zone. People were dragging her, hard. Someone even dug up an old video of her and Ethan cooking together and commented, "Wow, didn't know she was a professional cheater too." And me? I was just watching from the outside. I never said anything, never commented, never posted some victory message. Didn't need to. I wasn't trying to win the internet. I'd already won real life. I'd kept hitting the gym, kept my meals dialed in, hit another milestone, down 59 pounds total, stronger than I've ever been, and finally doing pull-ups without it turning into a comedy sketch. My sleep was better, skin clearer, and even work felt easier now that I wasn't dragging around someone else's baggage 24/7. I also ran into Amanda again. This time it wasn't random. She texted me and said, "You still owe me that second coffee." I never agreed to it, but whatever. Smooth move. I told her sure, and we met up. Same spot as last time. She looked good, casual, natural. We talked for over an hour about dumb stuff. Shows, work, bad gym playlists. She kept leaning into that flirty but not too flirty thing she does. Said things like, "Bet you're getting lots of attention now," and "Can't believe I used to think Kayla had good taste." I didn't really flirt back, but I didn't shut it down either. People have asked me if we're a thing, so let me clear that up. No, we're not dating, but she's definitely interested. And honestly, if I ever wanted to start something up again, she'd probably be the first person I'd hit up. But right now, I'm not chasing anything. Not trying to jump from one mess to another. I like waking up alone. I like having space. I like not having someone in my ear about which almond butter is clean. Then came the call. One afternoon, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost let it ring out, but something told me to answer. Hello? Silence for a second. Then a familiar voice. "Hey, it's Kayla." My whole face did the slow blink. "Right." She laughed nervously. "Wow. You sound different." "Yeah, well, I am." Another pause. Then she goes, "I saw a video of you. Ethan posted a clip of you deadlifting. I didn't even recognize you at first." I didn't say anything. She kept going. "You look amazing. Like, seriously. I never thought—" "Yeah," I cut her off. "That's kind of the theme, isn't it?" Another awkward silence. I just wanted to say, I don't know. I guess I messed everything up. Guess so. "I was stupid," she said. "You didn't deserve how I treated you. Now, you'd think maybe that felt good to hear. But it didn't. It just felt overdue. Like someone saying sorry 5 years after stealing your bike. At that point, you've already bought a new one and moved on." She tried to pivot into something else. "I saw your photos. You really turned everything around? I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think I ever expected you to—" "Let's not do that," I said. She paused. "Do what?" "The whole 'you surprised me' routine, like I finally became worthy of your time. I didn't do this for you. You're just noticing now because it doesn't include you anymore." She was quiet. Then came the classic, "I just wish things had gone differently." And I said, "Yeah, me too, but not in the way you think." Then I hung up, blocked the number. And just like that, I finally felt done. Not fake done. Not, I'm totally over her but secretly still check her account done. Actual, finished, wrapped up, thanks for playing done. Life since then? Simple. Clean. Quiet. I've kept things tight. Wake up early, hit the gym, crush work, cook my meals, sleep right. My routine is mine. Nobody nitpicking what I wear, nobody asking why I don't care about macros or posing in progress pics. Just peace. I see my friends more now. Real friends. People who don't measure worth by waistlines or follower counts. I even started helping one of my coworkers get into shape. He asked for advice after seeing the change. Feels good to pay it forward. As for Amanda, like I said, nothing serious. But she's still around. Still sending flirty texts like, "You better not be out here getting hot for someone else." She says we should hang out more. I haven't ruled it out. She's cool, real, chill, and she was the only one who told me the truth when it mattered. So yeah, she's earned a seat at the table if it ever comes to that. But for now, I've got a full fridge, a clear mind, a fresh haircut, and a deadlift PR that I never thought I'd touch in my life. And no matter what people say about revenge bodies or glow-ups, here's the truth. The real flex is peace. Not looking better, not being wanted, not clapping back. It's walking past the wreckage, unfazed, while everyone else's drama eats itself alive. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Update. So yeah, after everything went down, I figured I was done hearing from Kayla. But a few weeks ago, she calls me out of nowhere. I almost didn't answer. Number wasn't saved. But something told me to pick up. First thing she says is, "You look amazing. I didn't even recognize you at first." She said she saw a video Ethan posted of me hitting a new deadlift PR. I stayed quiet. Then she hit me with the classic, "I didn't know you had that in you." I told her straight up, "Yeah, you didn't." And then I hung up. No yelling, no speech, just done. She tried calling again a few days later, but she's blocked now. Not trying to open that door again. Not even a crack. She made her choices, and I've moved on. As for Amanda, yeah, we're still talking. She's flirty as hell, not even being subtle about it. Keeps saying stuff like, "You should take me out before someone else does." We're not a thing. Not officially anyway. But she's cool to be around and actually real. Plus, she's the one who told me the truth when nobody else would. So, who knows? But honestly, I'm not chasing anything right now. Life's simple. I wake up early, train hard, eat right, work, sleep. I'm at peace, and that's the biggest win. Not revenge, not followers, not even the abs. Just peace.